Trenton 365 with Jacque Howard. Profiling the businesses, organizations, and people that make Trenton better.
You know what the easy thing that's already set up?
Welcome to the Trenton 365 show, and it's new. We've got television from this point forward. Trenton Talks over WPHY Channel 25, Mercer County, New Jersey, and of course, WIMG 1300, the stellar award-winning station in a small market. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, WIMG 1300, and the website, WIMG1300.com. The Trenton 365 show has a Facebook page, among others. Website is Trenton365.com. And if you'd like to send an email, you can send it to Trenton365show@gmail.com. So there's a lot of information we're going to get out to you tonight. And I'm glad to have REJS Entertainment as my guest. And REJS and me and members of REJS go far back. To get the show started, I've got Rich Jackson and James Freeman in the studio, and later Eric Thomas will be joining us as well. But gentlemen, welcome back to the Trenton 365 show and today's topic, or Trenton Talks, should I say.
Thank you for having us.
Excellent. So, Rich, why don't you get started, since you are the R in REJS Entertainment? Why don't you get started and just give a little information about who you are and chat about REJS Entertainment?
Okay, my name is Rich Jackson. I'm born and raised in Princeton. I met these guys from REJS as teachers at the Granville Charter School in Trenton, New Jersey. Eric Thomas had the idea of getting a group together so that we could bring in some performers from different places to show people that jazz is still alive. So we got it together, and our first performer was Scott Texier, who we're having come this Friday. And it's been a very interesting voyage, and we're on our way.
Awesome,
yes.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And full disclosure, Rich and I go back a little ways too. Before I met Eric and James, I met Rich and we played recreational softball together in Ewing Township with MP Hunt and a couple of guys. Shout out to Rick Hunt and his crew. But yeah, that's how Rich and I originally met. And then later, I met Eric Thomas, who will be on the show in a little bit, through his time with the Trenton Children's Choir, Trenton's Children's Chorus as well. And he teaches percussion there as well, and my daughter attended there, so that's where I met him. And then later, I meet what I like to affectionately call my big brother over there, James. So, James, a little background information about who you are as well.
James Freeman. I'm an educator in Pennsylvania, and as Rich said, we met teaching at a charter school together, and we kind of keep that as our underlying thought as far as what we do with REJS Entertainment. So we also have young people involved in each show, if at all possible, in our youth spotlight, youth or rising star spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's obvious that both you guys are interested in jazz like I am, but what made you want to get into the promotion industry of the jazz scene?
Well, I like music. I enjoy music. I started back in the 70s in R&B and, some jazz fusion type groups. And in meeting Eric, we had the same flavor as some of the groups that we listened to. And he said that he would like to put together a little production for some jazz artists live. And he looked up a couple, and we just took off from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you did say that Scott Texier, that show, I guess was a couple of years ago, was the first show that REJS put on, and that was held at Maxine's,
yes.
Downtown Trenton, New Jersey.
The Big Easy.
The Big Easy, my apologies.
Yeah,
so just talk about how Scott and Eric got connected, or your version of that, and then just talk about how that show came to be.
Well, it's kind of Eric's spot because he remembers better than I do, but I think we got him off of YouTube. And he was just, Eric was just going through some YouTube performances and ran into Scott and said, I'm going to touch base with this kid and see if he'll come down and play for us. And he agreed. He came down and played at some of the schools and did some of the assemblies at the schools. And we asked him if he would do a performance in front of a live audience, and he said he would do it, and that's kind of how things started off.
And James, how did you get connected? I know that you knew Eric and Rich, but how did you get connected to the whole jazz promotion scene as well?
Well, I always had an interest in music. I didn't get a chance to pursue it like I wanted to, but I've always liked instrumental music. So I enjoyed some of the flavor that these older guys enjoy. But seriously, we looked at it. We got to know Scott, and we just helped myself and Rich helped Eric work on creating a show for Scott, the very first show. And we enjoyed it so much that we decided to try it again. So we ended up trying it again 2 more times that year, and we decided, you know what, let's make this a business venture, something that we can enjoy and perhaps capitalize on.
And who are some of the other artists that REJS has brought into this region?
Yvonne Prenay, who plays the jazz harmonica, and Shamie Royston, who plays she's a composer and a pianist. Those are our big 3, along with Scott Tixier, who plays the jazz violin. We've also had a number of people, including recently Mark Whitfield,
Yes.
who is probably our biggest name performer that we've had thus far.
Sarah Elizabeth Charles. So there was a few. And the artists are coming at us now. We've kind of got things going in a flow where they're interested in coming to perform for us as a REJS Entertainment.
And in my experience with REJS is there's this whole family feeling and element to the shows that we put on. Not only are the shows of very good quality, and we're seeing world-class talent, but it's an amazing value. And in addition to that, this scene has just missed out for so long on original music, especially jazz music. When I'm talking to people about the old Chitlin circuit and that James Brown and Liberace and Sinatra and all those big, huge names performed in Trenton at one point in time, it's amazing that people are like, oh, no, they didn't. I'm like, yeah, yes, they did. I mean, Trenton had dozens of venues where if you were playing anywhere on the East Coast, you were stopping in Trenton. And it's nice to see that REJS is bringing that back to some extent. So where does REJS normally have the shows?
Well, the shows initiated, our very first live show, it started at the Big Easy down on, was that Warren Street?
Yes, South Warren.
And it went well. And I think did we have another show there? I think there might have been 1 or 2 shows there. And then we kind of didn't work things out too well. The business end of it didn't work out well. So we moved to Hikestown. So now we're in Hikestown, New Jersey, at a place called Tavern on the Lake. It's right in the heart of Hikestown. And we've been there about 3 years now.
But this will be our second complete year there.
Second year.
At Tavern on the Lake.
So things are flowing well there.
And why the transition and moving it to Hikestown?
Well, we found out through research, through surveys, that most of our audience actually was from Hightstown in that area. But we plan to seek out and create a new audience throughout Central Jersey.
So if I can just imagine, this isn't an organization or promotion team that is landlocked to any particular venue. So REJS can kind of travel around and have shows wherever because they already have the talent pool, correct?
Yes. And we are looking for other venues. It's just that we're kind of in a budget situation where we have to go. We're doing well where we are, but we would like to reach more audience, and that calls maybe taking our show on the road to other venues that are in this area. So we're looking out. We're looking to see what we can find.
Why don't you guys share the contact information for REJS Entertainment?
Okay.
All right. Well, you can reach us online at rejsjazz.com. You can reach us on our Facebook page at REJS Entertainment on Facebook. And to give you some phone numbers, we have 609-712-8904 to reach Eric Thomas, 609-218-2284 to reach Rich Jackson, 215-669-6594 to reach myself, James Freeman.
And you don't have to give them mine. They already probably have mine. We don't need to do that. So going forward, I know that we've got this show that's coming up on Friday, June 10th, 2016. Scott Tickshea will be in the house.
Yes.
And I believe Yvanik Pernay is playing with him as well.
Yes.
And it's going to be at Tavern on the Lake. Tickets are $20. Is the website is still available to order tickets and purchase tickets there?
Yes, as long as you purchase prior to the day of the show, you can get a discounted rate of $15.
Awesome. So, and I also like to say this right now, too, is that at 9 p.m., the third person to text 609-433-0489. Again, the third person to text 609-433-0489. The name of track number 6 on Scott Tickshea's Brooklyn Bazaar album. It's got to be the correct spelling and all that good stuff. You're going to win 2 tickets, 2 free tickets worth $20 each for you to join us at Tavern on the Lake Friday. As we present, REJS Entertainment presents Scott Tickshea. It's going to be an amazing show. Scott always packs the house and plays for several hours. It will be well worth you attending and the few bucks that you put out for that. So why don't one of you guys tackle how the show normally goes? Like, what does the show that night? How's it normally set up? How many sets are played, etc.?
All right, well, it usually starts around 7:30, sometime a little later. You kind of wait till the crowd comes in. Then the artist does one set. They work it for about an hour or a little bit longer, depending on their songs. And then we have intermission, and the intermission is usually covered by some youth that we have. We call it the Youth Spotlight. And there's some high school students or some upcoming stars that are very young want to share the stage with a professional. And we have them on for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then we have it hosted by Mr. Jacque Howard. And then we move forward to the second set, which runs about an hour as well. And it usually works out well, since it's a nice performance.
Don't forget that all-important interview, that award-winning interview that Jacque puts on with the artist, right?
Yes.
Prior to the start of the second set, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. And full disclosure, my appreciation for what REJS does is super high. It's one of those organizations that when I was asked to be a part of it, I said absolutely 100%. Anything I can do to share my talents that's going to promote art, it's going to help the community, it's going to tie in some young people, I'm all for it. And all of the artists that we've brought through, you mentioned Scott Tickshea, his brother Tony, Yvanik Pernay, Dave Stryker, Shami Royston, Sonia Robinson, Monty Croft, Mark Whitfield, Steve Carrington. If you start running down this list of artists that REJS is connected with and who is in the REJS pool, it's world-class, international level talent that you more than likely won't see in this region, other than what REJS is doing. And I'm glad to be a part of it. And I encourage anyone to come out and have a look and see what we're doing, what kind of products we're putting together. And it's awesome because our shows are so interactive and close that you get a chance to meet these artists one-on-one and have a conversation and to talk about things as simple as, hey, what kind of instruments do you use, etc. So we're up on a break, and we'll be back shortly. After that, you're listening to WIMG 1300, and it's called Trenton Talks. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. And welcome back to Trenton Talks, Trenton 365. I'm your host, Jacque Howard. You're listening over WPHY channel. You're watching over WPHY channel 25, Mercer County, New Jersey. Listening over WIMG 1300 on the AM dial and streaming over the website WIMG1300.com. You can visit the Trenton365.com website for all the archives of this interview and the others that I do, normally on Tuesday nights from approximately 8 to 9 p.m. So in the studio with me are members of REJS Entertainment, REJS Entertainment. You can find us on Facebook. The website is REJS, REJS Jazz.com, and also on Twitter, REJS Jazz on Twitter as well. And simply put, I mean, we're a group of people who love jazz music, and we've got an appreciation for education, building a better community, and it just so happens that we are all connected, and what we're doing is bringing world-class international level talent in the jazz scene to this region, and offering it at a very fair price. Tickets are usually less than $25 or less. It's in a venue that offers food and drinks. It's centrally located in New Jersey, and we were running down a laundry list of talent. If you were to think about some of the names that we've had: Scott and Tony Tickshay, Steve Carrington, Mark Whitfield, Shami Royston, Dave Stryker, Monty Croft, Sonia Robinson, Sarah Elizabeth Charles, Sherelle Cassidy, Noah Hadu, Marcos Varela, John Benitez. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. And one of the things that we're trying to do with this is we're trying to offer up an opportunity to connect with our past and say, hey, look, this area was thriving and vibrant in the arts and entertainment scene, and we like to be a part of bringing that back. So we've got our partners here, Rich Jackson, the R, Eric Thomas, the E, who will be in here shortly in the studio, and James Freeman, the J, and I'm Jacque Howard, the other J. And so eloquently, Rich changed how we say the logo. Rich, Eric, and the J's, James and Jacque. Yes. So he strategically put that together.
I had to put you in there.
So why don't we break down a little bit for the audience, give some people some more personal feel about what REJS does. Rich, what are some of the things that you have taken control over with REJS Entertainment?
Well, when we started the whole thing, we kind of didn't have anything delegated. We just kind of jumped in and everybody, all hands on deck. Now we've kind of situated ourselves a little better, and it's running more like clockwork. So I'm a very active person, so I choose to set up the stage and make sure that the logistics of the stage and the lighting is pretty much set. I think that the other reason is because I have a truck. I am able to handle bringing the stages and the amps and the speakers and all those type things up to the venue and have them set up prior to the show. So Friday around noon, I'll get busy and everything will be set by 3 o'clock. Our show starts at 7:30.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, I want people to know that you are also our web master and probably the person who takes the most photographs.
Yeah, as a child, I had something that was called a camera club. So back in the day, you had the 110s, and everybody took the pictures. You took it to the shop and got your pictures taken. Ever since then, I've always had a camera. So now I tinker with it, and I've gotten better over the years. So I like to take the pictures, and I think pictures speak 1,000 words. So once we get them, we can always look back on them. This is really a great thing that we're doing, and the voyage has been really great. Now it's documented from the pictures, and the web page I'm working on. I'm learning as I go along, but it's up and running.
Excellent.
Yes.
And that website is REJS, REJS Jazz.com. There you can see all the different performers that we've had in the past, connect with us through our social networks, as well as stay abreast of what we're doing in the near future. And again, the website, as Rich explained, is constantly evolving, so there will be more opportunities there. I mean, we've had talks about potential giveaways, ticket giveaways, contests, ways to connect with us differently, newsletters, etc., and also to have you provide your feedback, because during this type of work, it's very important that whatever we're doing, it's beneficial and we like it, but it's also really important for our audience to be very pleased with what we do as well. Sure.
If they can give the feedback to our Facebook page, it might be a little easier than giving it to our web page.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So again, folks, with that, at 9 p.m. tonight, if you go to the Facebook page, you can see all the details for what we're running as a ticket giveaway. So after 9 p.m., if you text 609-433-0489 with the correct spelling of track number 6 on Scott Tixier's most recent release, which is Brooklyn Bazaar, if you text the name of track number 6, it has to be correct. If you're the third person, you'll win 2 tickets to this Friday's show. So I'm going to swing it over to you, James, and talk a little bit about like the administration, because again, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts with this. Not only do we have the actual shows, but there's a lot of work. There's a lot of communication with the venue, setting different things up with them, but also with the artists as well. And that's something that you've so gracefully tackled.
Well, it's been fun. It's been fun, like especially the marketing aspect of it, just trying to learn different ways through social media and the website to try to create an audience, to try to reach people, find a way to get them through the doors, to inform them of what we're doing. So in that, myself and Eric have flip-flopped a little bit with as far as reaching out to solidify the talent. So that was something that I was a little bit nervous about, but ended up enjoying, like to get the artists, contact them, and negotiate with them and get them situated for the show. So that was very interesting. But so it's been something that's kind of gotten us out of our shell. We've kind of flip-flopped duties a little bit here and there just to get us more involved, in all aspects of what we're doing. So it's been fun.
Mm-hmm. And for the folks out there who don't understand how this business works, how would you explain your method of reaching out to the artists?
Well, the way I did it, I would reach out mainly through email, send them an email, just let them know who we are and what we're doing, what we'd like to do. We know that we're impressed with them and we'd like them to perform for us. And just ask them if they're available at a certain time. They'll respond, and then we'll get into the negotiations. We'll let them know. I like to lead by asking them what they prefer as far as monetary payment, and then we negotiate from there. Things work out, and then we go ahead and sign on the dotted line and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want you both to answer this. Would you say that we're developing like these long-term relationships with our artists, and give some examples?
Definitely.
Well, at the end of each show, everybody kind of comes together and you get a chance to talk to the artists, like you're saying, and meet and greet. And sometimes you have questions, so you ask them about, how's jazz coming along, and do you have another group that you play with, or would you like to perform? And sometimes they approach us. They ask us about, playing with us with a group that they have. There's so much talent that is out here. We've tapped into a lot of it, and I think that, I don't know, they're willing to come to us and play at any time, and they want to give us their best. In addition to, they want the jazz to be promoted, and through us, we've kind of catalyst for this area, kind of put it out there, and they're willing to come. I mean, a lot of these artists, they're really great artists, but they live in New York, and New York is the mecca for jazz, and they're just having a hard time making it to the top. But there's a lot of great artists out here, and we get a chance to meet and greet with them, and they give us some feedback.
Mm-hmm. James, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's interesting in speaking with them sometimes how difficult it is, and what type of payments that they receive. I don't want to get too much into detail, but we provide them with a good environment, a nice stage. We treat them well. We treat them to dinner on us, and they really appreciate it. They really appreciate coming here, and word spreads. They talk to other artists about Tavern on the Lake and Heightstown and REJS Entertainment, and that's a place you want to make a stop. So that's what we want to do. We want to kind of help be a stepping stone with their careers so that they can get where they belong, because they're all very talented.
And I think what REJS is doing is a microcosm of our relationship with the artists as well. I mean, we've come together, we've known each other in some semblance for quite some time, all the four of us, and we're developing those relationships with artists as well. Like, again, Scott Tickshea, I was fortunate enough to be in the audience at that first show and seen him subsequently several times, and consider him a friend as well as the rest of the artists, and even not even the lead artists as well. I mean, I forgot to throw out Donald Edwards, who is an amazing percussionist, who I've got a nice friendship with, mainly because of connecting with REJS Entertainment, and these artists, like you put, I mean, they're in a small fishbowl with a lot of artists in New York, and just to come approximately an hour and change south and be able to perform in an environment, be compensated at more than a fair rate, have access and exposure to a new audience, and then to be able to leave timely and get back to the city. Just to throw a couple of things out, there's plenty of shows at some of the larger clubs in New York that don't start till midnight. So if you're an artist, right, that means you can have what you're going to do during the day, but you're not going on until 12. So more than likely, you're not even getting prepared till 10. Whereas our shows, 10 o'clock, if show stops at 10, you can hang out for 15 minutes and you're gone. You can even make another gig
right,
in New York,
right,
if you come and perform with us. I'm going to throw this out to Eric as well when he comes in just a short moment. But I'm speaking with REJS Entertainment members. I'm part of the crew as well. We've got Rich Jackson, Eric Thomas, and James Freeman, as well as myself, Jacque Howard, make up this group of jazz promoters and people who are supporters for what's happening in the central New Jersey jazz scene. Website is REJSJazz.com. Facebook is REJS Entertainment, and there you can find all the information you need about us, bios, some of our previous artists as well. Also on Twitter, REJS Jazz, at REJS Jazz. But before Eric comes in, I'd like for each of you to share, where do you foresee REJS going, or where would you like for it to go? And either one of you can tackle that first.
Mm-hmm. Okay. To the sky. Just take off. James is a teacher. I was a teacher. I kind of retired. But, these guys have a dream. They put in many years as teachers. So they want another thing to move to. And what they're thinking about is REJS Jazz, promoting jazz throughout the United States, possibly. So we're looking at a large scale. The sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very enjoyable. I mean, I'm not that close, but I'm close to retirement, and I would love for this to take off well enough financially that I could retire a little bit earlier and enjoy this more. I just enjoy learning all the things that it takes to make this grow, and all the things that come with it, the relationships, the camaraderie. So I definitely think that we can do some things, especially start putting on some festivals in the local area.
Now, I'm going to press you for that, because, that's something that we've talked about a lot, folks. So we're revealing this. We've talked about the need for a jazz festival in this region, and there are plenty that are doing it. There's different wineries that are doing it in different municipalities, but we believe that the talent pool that we have within our network can put on one of the best jazz festivals in the region. So James, why don't you lay some more on that?
Well, we even, shared a conversation back and forth through email earlier about the possibility of doing something locally. I don't want to spill the beans on that too much, but we had been in talks with Heightstown, and that may or may not happen this year, but we're definitely prepared to try to do something in Heightstown or in Trenton or anywhere in the region as far as a collective group of performers for just a day to start.
Fantastic. Folks, you've been listening and watching Trenton Talks, Trenton 365. I'm your host. We're going to be back after a short break. I've been speaking with Rich Jackson and James Freeman, two members of REJS Entertainment, along with myself and Eric Thomas, who will be joining us after the break. Please visit the website REJS, REJS Jazz.com for more information about what we're doing. We'll see you after a short break.
Okay, Sarah, I'm dropping you at Emily's, and Josh, you're going to soccer, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, when I pick you up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, me and my short shorts doing my daddy dance. Your friends will love it.
No!
Well, I might change my mind if you buckle your seatbelts.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Whatever it takes, keep them safe. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Need a truck to move? Let Justin's Rental of Selman's Eagle save the day. Justin's has the right trucks for all commercial and residential moves. Justin's has the right moving supplies and boxes available. Justin's Rental at Selman's Eagle has everything you need for your move at affordable prices. Featuring the best in pickup trucks, 10 and 15 box trucks and vans. Justin's Rental at Selman's Eagle is located at 2596 South Broad Street, across from the McDonald's in Hamilton. For your rental truck needs, call 609-888-3327. That's 609-888-3327. Justin's Rental at Selman's Eagle. If you're moving, we have the trucks to meet your moving needs.
Why spend more than you have to on your life insurance? Did you know that term life insurance rates have fallen over 60% in the last 15 years? At the Life Insurance Quote Line, we monitor the rates, features, and financial strength of hundreds of life insurance products. For example, a healthy 40-year-old can protect his family with $500,000 of 10-year level term for less than $20 a month. Rates for women are even lower. And don't forget to ask us about the new term life policies that guarantee your money back even if you don't die. Since 1986, we've helped tens of thousands of people just like you save a fortune on their life insurance. Why not find out how much you can save? Write down this number and call today for your free quote. 1 5-minute call is all it takes. Call.
Greetings. I am Clarence Matthews, Sr., minister of the North Clinton Avenue Church of Christ, located at 411 North Clinton Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey. I invite you to listen to our radio ministry on Sunday, 8 a.m., Wednesday, 8:05 p.m., and on Friday, 7:05 p.m. at WIMG 1300 a.m.